The test that I explored was the Wechsler Intelligence Scale for Children, the 5th edition, which is also known as the WISC-5. So what is the WISC-5? It is a standardized assessment that was designed as a psychological tool to help determine a child's individual cognitive abilities. Originally, the WISC was created in 1949 by David Wechsler. The WISC-5 is actually the third revision just since the death of Dr. Wechsler in the 1980s. Over the years, there have been multiple revisions for the WISC, but the WISC-5 was most recently updated in 2014. The reason for the update was that the authors were looking to have more theoretical foundations and also to increase the ease of administration of the test. So allowing the test administrator and the tester to have less time in each testing session. Also, the test wanted to increase the developmental appropriateness. And another component that was added was that there's a technological component. So the test administrator doesn't have to give the test only paper pencil. They have the option of using technology as well. Who is this test designed for? It's designed for children ages 6 years 0 months to 16 years 11 months. It's used in schools during the eligibility process to determine if students qualify for special education services. And it also looks at the intellectually gifted students as well. Who are the people that can give the test? It's going to be administered by people who've received specific trainings of the administration and interpretation of the WISC-5. Typically, it'll be someone who's completed a graduate level or professional level training in psychological assessment. And in schools, it's going to typically be given by a school psychologist when determining if a child qualifies for special education services. The WISC is composed of different elements that provide cognitive abilities. So there's 16 subtests that are designed to measure the 5 broad cognitive abilities. The 5 cognitive abilities that they're looking at are the visual spatial index, the fluid reasoning index, the working memory index, processing speed index, and the verbal comprehension index. Each of those indexes is composed of other core subtests. So multiple subtests are used to find the visual spatial index. From there, all of those components each index is combined and converted to provide a full scale IQ, which is the FSIQ. Scores can be reported as scaled scores, standard scores, percentile ranks, confidence intervals, all different kinds of ways. A lot of times you'll see it reported as a standard score, and there will be a bell curve associated with that. So 100 is going to be your average or your mean. And then what you're looking at is data in relation to the mean or the average. The average range is from 90 to 110, and from there you're looking to see is this child performing in the low average, low, or very low range, or high average, high, or very high, or just in the average range. From there, once you take that data, you can use that to identify if a child can qualify for special education services. For example, one category that a student could qualify under is specific learning disability. So what the team would be looking at is any discrepancy between the predicted score. So based on the full scale IQ of the WISC-5, there will be a predicted score of academic achievement. Then that information is going to be compared to another standardized test that was given to measure academic achievement. So we're looking at the difference between a predicted score and the actual score that a child is able to produce. If there's a high enough discrepancy, that child can qualify for special education services under specific learning disability. Another way this test could be used is to determine if a child has an intellectual disability. So if the full scale IQ is less than 70, that child could qualify for services under intellectual disability. It's also, the WISC is just used as a component for a variety of special education categories and services. In the past, I've worked as a special education teacher, and during all of our eligibility processes, our school psychologists would give information on the WISC-5. And this information was always so helpful in explaining the different outcomes to families and determining if a student qualified for services. one thing is that this test should only be one component in a big, large array of information and data when determining the educational needs of individual students. It should not be the only thing that we're looking at. But it's a really valuable tool, and it helps make it easy to see the strengths that students possess as well as the areas of growth that they need to be working on. So that is it for the WISC 5.